There's a constitutional crisis in Canada, and you just don't know it yet. Welcome to Wake Up Canada News. I'm Brad Wilder. This next article was from One Canada and sent to us by our writer Alexander Adams. This is a follow-up story on Haida Gwaii yesterday. I don't usually start off stories this way, but I feel it's important for you to know what I'm about to say. So I was born in Winnipeg. I've lived across the prairies and even parts of the USA. I've lived in the following locations and have many friends across this great country. From northern Manitoba, where I lived in Napaw, Thompson, and Flin Flon, was able to learn and participate in the Opaskwayak Nations festivals, to Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, and then on to Alberta, where I have many Aboriginal friends over my 23 years there, from the Blood Tribe to the Pagan Nation. I've always supported their claim to these lands we live on, but what's happening to our country is far from just land acknowledgement. While it might seem UNDRIP is to give back the lands to the original owners, it's far more sinister, and some Aboriginals already know this, but others don't. This causes resentment to anything we say here today, but if you look deeper, you too will find out exactly what we discussed to be absolutely 100% true. Thank you for watching. On Friday, the BC Supreme Court declared Aboriginal title over the entire island of Haida Gwaii, with the consent of both the provincial and federal governments. This follows agreements already signed to transfer ownership and control of the island from the people of Canada to the Haida Nation. Now, nobody fully really understands what this means. What we do know is that Aboriginal title is ownership of the land itself. Our governments are now bound by court order to recognize that title and surrender control of Haida Gwaii in accordance with those agreements. The Haida Nation voted on these agreements, but their members represent about half of the island's residents. Now imagine being among the rest. You're now governed by rulers you cannot elect, accountable only to those who share their ancestry. They now meaningfully own and control your home or business. What is your land worth? What protects you from unfair taxation or regulation? Will your charter rights even apply under an Aboriginal government? You may not need to imagine for long. Premier David Epi's NDP government is already at dozens of tables negotiating similar agreements across British Columbia. The only obstacle is overlapping claims, but once those are sorted out, the rest of the province will follow. Now, if this is what you want, a province carved into dozens of ethno-states ruled by unaccountable elites, then by all means remain silent, downplay, even pretend. What we're witnessing is an unprecedented betrayal of the Canadian public. Worried about American influence? About Beijing's creeping hand in our politics? Our leaders are literally giving our country away. Will you let them? To defend British Columbia and recover Canada, we must stop giving it away. Canada must withdraw from UNDRIP. That process was adopted internationally in 2017 and made law in British Columbia in 2019 with unanimous support, including David Epi and John Rustad, and passed federally in 2021. UNDRIP requires Canadian laws to conform to a framework that demands land be given away and public money flow endlessly to Aboriginal groups. It's a disaster that should never have been endorsed. Repeal must be a top priority. But even repeal will not end the threat. Courts have shown in the Sokotan and Cowichan cases that they'll declare Aboriginal title even against government objections. Why? Because in 1982, Pierre Trudeau entrenched Aboriginal property rights in Section 35 of the Constitution, rights not subject to the Notwithstanding Clause. That means real change requires constitutional reform. We must remove the constitutional status of Aboriginal title so that all Canadians have equal property rights. And we must go further. eliminate all race-based rights and privileges from our Constitution. This is a true constitutional crisis, but it's also an opportunity to restore equality and to end division, plus build a Canada that belongs to every citizen equally. The future is still ours to shape, if we choose to fight for it. Thanks for watching Wake Up Canada News. Please like, share, and follow us on any of your favorite socials, including Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, X, BitChute, and our website at wakeupcanadanews.com. Till next time, remember, you're the voice, and it's time to make it count. I'm Brad Wilder, and I'll see you soon.